Hi, my name is Kim Stanley, and I am the instructor of the Health 210 Nutrition course. And I just wanted to hop on here, go over a few quick things before you get started. So, if you're viewing this, you're already in Canvas, which is great news because that is where the course is housed. So, your assignments, everything that you're going to submit, that's all going to be in Canvas. And as you begin navigating through there, all of your LMU courses are going to be set up quite similar to one another, and this follows that LMU template. But when you're in Canvas, you're going to find the syllabus. And it's very important that you review the syllabus, go over that. It's going to contain a lot of important information for you for the semester, not only your course expectation, the outcomes, the learning outcomes and the goals and things like that, but it's also going to contain information for your textbook. Which you have to have for the semester. So you're going to need to order your textbook. And it's also going to have information for the project program that you're going to use, the Nutrition Calc Plus program. And so you're going to need both your textbook and that Nutrition Calc Plus program. And so that information is going to be found in your syllabus. So you're going to need those two things. And a couple other really important things that are in the syllabus is going to be your grading scale, points distribution, and also all of your assignments and their due dates are going to be listed. So I really encourage you to go in there and to look at all those due dates and to put them however it is that you keep up with things, whether you keep a paper calendar, you keep things in your phone, if you're a Post-it person, whatever it is that works for you. I encourage you to go ahead and make note of those due dates. And all of your due dates for your regular weekly assignments are going to be on Mondays at 11:59 p.m. The one big difference for that's going to be Labor Day. And so the assignment that would have been due that Monday of Labor Day, that holiday, coming out of that holiday week, will actually be bumped to the Tuesday. But that information is all going to be found in your syllabus. And the other thing that's different about due dates are your tests. When you have test and unit discussions, those will be due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. And so, like I said, all that information is going to be in your syllabus, and you can give that a look over. I have a cheat sheet here I'm going to refer to so that I'm not on here for too long. But a couple other things I want to tell you about is how the course is actually going to be set up in Canvas. You're going to have 16 modules in the course. Those modules each represent a chapter in the textbook. So that's basically how that's broken down. And for each chapter, or each module, or each chapter, you're going to need to read the chapter in the textbook. And in Canvas, there is actually going to be an outline for each chapter. And I encourage you to utilize that. They are very thorough, very helpful for taking notes, very helpful for going back to study, because you're going to be making your own study and review guides. You have a cumulative final exam at the end of the semester, and if you're making your study guides all throughout the semester, you at the very end of the semester is going to be thankful to you now for deciding to do that and kind of making those study sheets as you go along. So you can utilize those. You might love them, you might not ever use them again. It's your decision. That's not anything you have to turn in, but they are there for your benefit. So you're going to have 16 modules, and each of those modules is going to represent a chapter. And at you're going to have 5 units, okay? And units are just going to be bigger groupings of chapters. And that's what your tests are going to consist of. So you're going to have 5 unit tests during the semester. But before I get ahead of myself, we're going to go back and talk about chapters. You're going to be doing a chapter a week. You're going to be reading the chapter, taking notes, all that. And you're going to have an assignment for every chapter. Now that's either going to be a set of essay questions, like 4 essay discussion questions. Those need to be, when they're submitted, they need to be numbered and they need to be in your own words. So don't like copy and paste things. Don't put those into like your AI site of choice and let that spit it out and copy and paste it in there. Don't do that, please. So help yourself out, put those in your own words. And or the chapter might have a quiz, and the quizzes are going to be timed, and you're going to have 1 attempt at those. So that's going to be your option. So every week you're going to have either a set of essay questions or a quiz that's going to be due. Now for 5 of the chapters, there's going to be a chapter discussion board due, and anytime you have a discussion board, what you're going to do is you're going to respond to the prompt, and you're going to respond to 2 other classmates. So that's kind of how your weeks are going to look. You pretty much do a chapter a week. Later on in the semester, you're going to have 2 weeks where things get doubled up. So just remember that, look ahead to that. That's going to be in unit 4 that you're going to have the chapters that double up. So getting closer to the end of the semester, but things can get really busy at that point in time too. So just be aware of that ahead of time. I mentioned that you have units. There are 5 units in the course, so they're going to be 5-unit tests. Tests are going to be 60 minutes time, 50 multiple choice questions, and 1 attempt on those. And so you're going to have a unit test. They're going to be 5 unit tests in the semester, and there's going to be a cumulative final exam. And your cumulative final exam is going to be set up just like all of your other tests. Now, one other big thing about this semester I want to hit on right now, just to put on your radar, is there is a project that is going to be due, and that's going to be due later on in the semester, but it is something that's going to take a good bit of time. You're going to use that Nutrition Calc Plus program for that. And what it's going to be is it's going to be a diet and activities tracking program. And so you're going to put all the information for everything you do, everything you eat, drink, all that for 7 days in the program. You're going to analyze that data. You're going to get some charts and reports that you're going to submit. You're going to answer some discussion questions about that. By the time you get to this point in the semester, the questions are going to make a lot of sense because it's going to cover everything that we're going over during the course of the semester. So if you look at it today, it might look a little overwhelming. By the time we get there later on in the semester, it's going to hopefully look a whole lot easier and make a whole lot more sense to you. So, but that is just something to put on your radar because it does take a good bit of time. It takes a full week of tracking, and it's going to take some days to get your graphs together, to do your data analysis, answering the questions and all that. 2 things I want to note about that. Number 1, you're not being graded on the quality of your diet. You're being graded on data analysis. So it's how well you analyze the data. And number 2, if there's a reason why it might not be a good idea for you to be tracking your diet and to be doing those things, and sometimes there are times when that's not the most appropriate course of action, there are alternative instructions for those scenarios. And so, and if that's the case, you're still going to use a Nutrition Calc Plus program, but you're going to be approaching the project differently. You're going to be creating scenarios for someone else who is not you, whose circumstances are not like yours, and anything like that. And you're still going to be analyzing the data, answering those same discussion questions. So there is a module in Canvas for the project. So it has its whole module there. What are you going to do now? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to continue working through the student orientation module. There's a whole section that kind of writes over some of the things I'm going over right now. And then you are going to take there's going to be an orientation quiz that you're going to take. And it's just kind of your understanding of the course and how it's all set up. And so it's going to be based on questions from things I'm going over now, things that are in the syllabus. And for that quiz, you can earn up to 10 points on it. And you can take that one as many times as you need to earn all 10 points. But those are going to be bonus points. It's going to be extra credit. And then there's a student bio post that you're going to need to do on the discussion board. And for that, you're going to introduce yourself, just share some things, whatever it is that you want to share with the class. It's a way to build community. And you're going to respond to at least 2 other classmates in that discussion board. That's going to be worth 5 points. Now, both of those sets of points for that orientation quiz and for that orientation bio post are going to be extra credit. So those are going to be the only extra credit points in the course, but you can start off the course with extra credit. So I strongly encourage you to do that. It's going to be the easiest thing you're going to do this week, and it's going to be one of the more meaningful things academic-wise that you're going to do this week. So get that taken care of and begin reading chapter 1 because there's going to be a quick turnaround. We're going right into it, weekly chapters, and so you're going to be reading chapter 1, working on chapter 1 essay assignments, and the chapter 1 discussion board. I just gave you a lot of information in a quick amount of time, but if you have any questions at all, email is the first and foremost quickest way to get me. If you want to talk with me, if it's best if we have a discussion, whatever, we'll set up a time to do that. So, but anytime during the course of the semester, if you come up with any questions, any hurdles, any concerns, anything like that, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. And so I'm ready to kick off this semester. I'm ready to make it a great one. And I hope you are as well. So let me know if you have any questions and let's get going.